Kia ora, no mai haramai ki All on the Table, a podcast created to create a safe space to discuss a whole bunch of topics that are important to us and our whānau. In our first season, we set out to explore learning and education. We speak with parents about their experiences with hybrid learning during COVID for our children, schools, and whānau. Unpacking the highs and lows, we hope this koorero not only helps our parents think more about the future of their child's learning, but also serves as inspiration for the future of learning in our education system. Let us put everything all on the table. Kia ora whānau, and welcome back to All on the Table. Yeah, it's our podcast. We're here again, and we've got some beautiful whānau here today with us. Thank you, Koruatahi, for coming in and joining us for our show today, man. How you feeling? All good?
All good.
Yeah.
All good. White was feeling good?
Aye.
All good. What do you reckon about the intro song?
It's pretty smooth.
It's pretty smooth.
Pretty smooth, eh?
Does it remind you of a
was
song?
like-
Does it remind you of a specific song? What comes to mind? I just want to check something.
No, not
No,
really.
not
okay,
really.
I felt put on the spot then.
Oh, no, all good, all good. One song that we've been playing around with is it reminds us of Warren G. Regulator.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
This is about
I can hear that, yes. I can hear that.
And once that popped in my mind, I was like, no, we have to use that, man, because it's cool.
Now you can't unhear it.
That's
Yeah.
it. But thank you for joining us today. Man, this podcast, All on the Table, I guess it's a series where we're going to be exploring different types of topics and all sorts. But in this series, in this season, we're looking at learning and education, man. So before we get into our koorero and see where our discussion takes us, what we want to do is, just get you to quickly introduce yourselves. All good? Sweet? Cool.
Go for it.
Oh. Kia ora ko Mel Paikia Tautala no toko ingoa. Thanks heaps for having me to be a part of this conversation.
No, thank you.
I was born and raised in Sydney, Australia, so you might hear a bit of the Aussie twang come through. Apparently people can still pick it up. I can't help it. I've tried to lose it, but it's
I
sort of
don't know this.
stuck. But moved to Aotearoa in 2002, so nearly 20 years old, actually just over 20 years ago. Currently residing over in Māngere Bridge with my husband and I, and we have a couple of businesses. We have a construction company, and then we have another investment company that does a whole lot of cool stuff in the social enterprise space and creative space. We have 6 tamariki, and they range in age from 28 to 26 to 21, 17, 6, and my baby's 4 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Duh.
So they've been going to school. I've been part of the education system for years now.
Yeah. Know all about it.
yeah, hard out. So awesome to be a part of the koorero,
Thank
and just a little bit about me. Yeah. So kia ora.
Kia ora, ngāmi, man. Thank you. Sweet, man.
All good.
Hi, thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Sunil. I came here in 2011, so it's more than 10 years, 11 years here.
Yeah.
So I have got 2 kids. One is 9-year-old and other one is 2-year-old. So I live in Takanini. Yeah, that's about me.
Sweet, man. Thank you. It's close to 10 years here, eh?
Yeah,
All good.
more than 10 years.
Deep in here now, eh?
Yeah.
I appreciate you both, eh? Like, it's really cool to be able to bring some whānau, like, in an earlier episode, we shot these episodes like 2-1, so in episode 2, sorry, we shot it back to front, but a massive bit of the koorero, we were talking just about like how some of the schools or how some of the schools were helping our parents be better engaged to then sort of really help get our young people to where they want to be. And I guess in this episode today, what we're going to be talking a bit about is like understanding success. You know, what does success look like for our young people, and how do we as parents define that, and what do we define that as for our young people? So that's what we're going to be chatting about today, man, chatting about that. And we're going to be going like a little bit back in time and then also coming into the future. And I guess to start off our koorero, I actually wanted you to cast your minds back to a time like before COVID, you know, and thinking about that time. Can you tell me about, well, you know, super easy. tell me about what you would define as success or as successful for your young people at that time before even COVID came around. Just for you personally.
Success for me, as a parent, what I was expecting from my son was to become a nice person rather than whatever the academically he achieved. So being a good person make him, to be proud person and, to serve to the nation. So that's what I wanted. So being in school, it will help him to, interact with people, people's persons and all those kind of things which we'll do. So before COVID, he was doing that really well. Yeah. That's what, for me, success.
People, looking after, being a nice person,
Yeah, being a nice person.
How about you, Mel?
Yeah, I think for me, I was already on a journey to redefining for myself what success looked like, probably leading into COVID anyway, probably in the sort of like 2 to 3 years leading up to COVID. But I guess prior to that, I did kind of buy into the whole I can clearly remember growing up as a young Māori girl, hearing the statement from my, my parents and their generation, my aunties and whatnot, about so-and-so's still in school. They want to go to uni. They could be the first one in the family to graduate university.
Wow, yeah.
And so
that's...
For me, that put this expectation of success is the first person in the whānau that's going to finish uni.
Yeah, that one. That floats around all of our whānaus, man.
But it was really subliminal. It wasn't really overt. It was just picking it up in other conversations and hearing it in my parents and that generation. And so that really was their version of success that had just sort of filtered its way through osmosis, and it starts to plant a seed, I guess, because you hear it and so you think, oh, well, that must be successful. So I guess I did sort of buy into that narrative that the education system was the way to go.
Yeah.
And that was going to set people up, everybody, no matter who you were, what kind of skill set you had, what you were naturally gifted at. University was going to be the way, and education system was going to be the way. Since then my opinions changed somewhat, but
sure, man. Wow, that comment, man, be the first to get it's amazing how relatable that comment is across all of our whānaus. I hear that so much time too when I was growing up. It's quite freaky, but success, that, I don't know, back then, way before COVID, and I don't know, maybe it's still prevalent now. That is the definition of success. So which is pretty freaky. Yeah, it's pretty freaky.
Yeah, and not to say that it's not a successful
that's exactly right.
path in life.
That's exactly right.
Just trying to illustrate that it's not success for everybody.
That's
if you're wired that way, 100% go for it. But if you're not, then there's definitely other streams or pathways to success.
No, that's cool, man. I guess just coming ahead a bit and from that time, and I guess over the last few years, being able to achieve that type of success, whatever we may define it as for our young people, has been quite hard with the many interruptions of COVID. So I guess for your young people, how are they? How are they right now after coming through the last couple of years?
Yes.
Couple of years, man.
Nearing on 3.
Three.
Yeah.
How are they? How's their wairua? How's their academics, man? How's that pathway that you've set out, hopefully, for them to achieve success?
Initially, it was a little bit of a struggle for them. Definitely, we have to jump on and help them how to learn from home. So it was a challenge for us as well, because we never faced these things before. Yeah. So we have to buy a Chromebook for my son, how to learn these things. And definitely the school was helping for that, how to do that. And they have giving the schedule how to work on the whole day. So along with... I'm working from home as well, so managing both at the same time, it was a little bit difficult initially. Once you're on that track, then definitely it was all good.
Just a matter of getting on the track.
Just getting on the
same.
Yeah,
trying to help at home, and imagine all of us saying.
Sure. Well, clearly I lack the discipline that you showed because I don't feel like I ever really nailed it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a struggle. I feel like, you know, my older 4 kids went through the schooling system prior COVID, and they always really excelled at reading and sort of the basics that the system expects you to, you know, achieve at certain levels. But with my younger ones, they're really struggling
Wow.
with the more simple things,
Yeah.
like, you know, behind the reading standard, and even just simple things with, you know, sounds of letters and things like that. And I mean, I commend the education system and the
sure,
school
right.
system for everything that they assisted with in that time. But the reality was, you know, they only had 30 minutes of class time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of on us. And
Yeah.
the reason why I send my kids to school is because I'm not a good teacher and I'm not patient.
Yeah,
And if I was, I'd be homeschooling.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not. So I
Yeah.
already knew that. And then you have 2 people who are trying to work from home.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
so I definitely think that she's, you know, they've suffered through that new entry
Yeah.
phase. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you give us just a little, very short, hard and fast background on, I guess, on the I guess the learning style? I guess at that time, you know, a lot of it was online, but as we came through some of the lockdowns, we ended up like, you know, in school, out of school, the hybrid learning sort of a learning style. Like, can you just give us a little bit of insight into sort of how you were actually managing all of that at home a little bit more? Yeah. What was it like for you?
Like I said before, it was a bit difficult,
Yeah.
but you know, we have to manage. We don't
Yeah.
have another option,
So,
so we have to take it from there. So where we don't know when this is going to stop, and we have to take it
Yeah.
whatever comes on our way. So definitely, yeah.
What did the programs look like for your young person, like the timetable and some of their learning lesson styles?
So what I was doing is exactly copying what they were supposed to do in the school.
Oh, yeah.
So the exact time I will tell you know, him to do the same things, and but I will definitely give him breaks.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you've
Yeah,
done 15 or
because-
something, 15 minutes. And
Yeah, definitely. So that's the only time I can do my job as well.
Yeah,
so I have
true.
to, you know, manage both at the same time. So yeah, it was not that bad, I think. And I think his skill levels and, you know, academic level didn't go that bad. So the teachers were really appreciating, you know, to give
Yep.
him, you know, equal level what they're supposed to get.
Yeah. Did
So
you
it
get
was really good.
oh, sorry, bro. to jump
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Did you
that's
get
fine.
you know, as like if you think about like the beginning of lockdown, right? And then maybe towards the end, did your what would you call it? Your expertise or your expert level, you know, did you go from like say you're at level 20 over here, did you make it up? What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. The level was going up only, definitely.
Yeah.
But sometime I was losing my patience too.
Yeah.
You know, definitely you'll get the work stress as well at the same time. So you will be managing both. But definitely think we did somehow.
Yeah, nice, man. And sorry, Mel. Yeah, just what about you? Like, how did it look for your young people at that time, anyway? And
Yeah, I mean, it was a struggle. I don't think we, you know, followed the school program that was set. We very well at all. It was just, I felt like it was quite overwhelming,
Yep.
the amount of work that they expected, or well, not that they expected, but they set for her to do in one, like for our kids to do in one day.
yeah,
When trying to manage, you know, sort of 4, 5, 6
yeah,
hui a day, as well as, you know, the work that comes on the back of all of that.
yeah.
No, it was a struggle. So,
Yeah.
Look, probably terribly is how we managed, to be honest. We did the best that we could
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the time that we had,
yeah,
the patience,
Yeah.
you know, because I am a big believer in making learning fun. So
Yep.
as soon as I could sense that
Yeah.
either I was frustrated
yeah,
or they were getting frustrated, I'd call it, because
Yeah.
I don't want like
Yeah.
reading to become a chore. So
yeah.
but it was hard.
Yeah.
I was just more and more every day through the lockdowns, and then as they went on, and it just got more fatiguing.
Yeah.
It just made me realise how amazing teachers are.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
they go handy, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Just thinking about that, what would you say would be like, you know, what would you define as success at that, you know, during those times? And what was like, you know, end of the day, you know, what would you just call successful for all of the stuff that you went through with learning in your young people at home?
I would say manage both at the same time. That's what I feel the success for me. So definitely, like I said, it was not that easy though, but somehow we have managed, and I would say we don't have any other choice too. So definitely.
And the success for your child as well, man? Like,
Yeah,
what would you
both
define it?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because previously when he was going school, so we didn't get a time to give him much attention. But when lockdown comes, so it's all our responsibility. So we have given him more attention. So then we know what his skill levels are and where he is good at. So we were focusing on those things that time. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about for you, Mel?
What success looked like through those
Yeah,
times?
like just at that time, like what would you just say, man, it was successful because of this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that was successful was it sort of it allowed a lot of time, like you were just mentioning, Sunil, for family, like for whānau time.
Yep.
And then I think at the end of the day, if the kids had done something off of the curriculum and everyone was still alive,
Yeah.
I love that.
it's a good day.
It's still
day,
it's
my
a good
friend.
day. Good day to be alive.
made it.
Well,
And keep it. I had a I had another comment. I was talking with another whānau member, trying to unpack a little bit more about success for them and their child, and they said the exact same thing. We're alive and we're well.
Yeah.
You know, and the last part they did add to that is my child was smiling. I was like, oh man, like a lot of these things that I think you touched on, like
Yep.
you know, leading back to some of the success stuff that you were talking about, like as long as my child's like a good person, sort of thing, is like highly relatable. Those two little things.
Oh, I reckon too. The other thing that I reckon was a success, or I would, for me personally anyway, is that she retained, or they retained, the kids retained a love for learning.
Yeah, oh,
Through
that's cool.
all of that, so
Yeah.
that was a success for me, because we didn't like beat the joy out of it for them. So we did something right there. And I was managing like a high school student who's doing year 12 NCEA and then a new entrant student.
So it's
the
managing
needs
the
are
both
so
balance.
different.
Yeah. It's different. Yeah.
This
really
one needs food and sustenance to keep
Yeah.
going for his exams, and this one needed a lot more
Yeah.
time and attention.
Yeah.
Really, love what you said there. They enjoy learning.
Yeah.
Still coming through all of that, and I guess like a huge part of that time, and just reflecting on some other stories that I've heard about schooling at home. Yes, we're super busy as parents, so really trying to work with our young people to make sure they were like confident in being self-directed. You know, I say like just to hear that our your child was super interested in learning tells me a little bit about he's actually done a real job to empower them to be in control of that and continue to love that, which is pretty cool, because that to make that easier, like some of the stuff I've been reading up around hybrid learning at home, in school, the hybrid learning, of course, the combination of them all. A lot of it comes down to like self-directed learning is a huge part of it. How can our young people be able to like learn that sort of style? And that's one of the many tools, because it's not just that to be able to move towards potentially the success that we define. But yeah, sorry, just blabbering a little bit, but just trying to add on to what you've said there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think sorry, I'm just going to have a quick peek at my paper here. We're almost there. Yes. It's really cool to hear some of your insights, and looking back, I guess what I want to pose to you is sort of like looking forward, man. You know what it was like before COVID. You know what it was like working through COVID, and you sort of got like at that time, because we're right out of lockdowns now, right out of that. I don't know if some of the schools you're currently working with, I know a couple that are still doing in school, at home, and hybrid.
Okay.
But like thinking forward and into the future and coming through all of that, what would you define as success now for your young people? Is it still the same? Is it a little bit different? And yeah, just wanted to pose that to you.
I would say going back to school is really good, because they can interact people, they can, talk all the things to teachers. They will be more open to teachers rather than family sometime. Teacher says that all the stories they can hear.
Yeah.
So definitely when we go for a meeting, they will explain, oh, your kids are Italian. So we know everything about your family. Those things. So, and definitely they're making friends at the same time when they learn. So I would say going back to the school would be the better. But COVID has given an opportunity to prove us that, hybrid learning also can be possible.
Yeah. Can be possible. Yeah, I love that. But you're right, man. The kids need their mates.
Yeah.
And I like what you said there about having the right teachers. I mean, I wasn't the best in school as well myself, but I had like some really good teachers around me. Like in some of the different, I went to a couple of different schools, but there was a few teachers that just really, thank you. Like, I wouldn't be here today without you. One of those ones, straight up.
Yeah.
Sorry. And what about you, Mel?
Sorry, what was the question?
Just thinking like, after coming through all of that, is your definition of success for your young people or for your young person still the same, or has it been influenced a little bit, or has it changed?
No, I feel like, I mentioned before I was already on this like, pivoting towards my mindset towards the education anyway coming into COVID. So I feel like if anything, it's cemented. Like I value the education system.
Yeah.
I think we're so lucky, and kids need it. Like they need, like you mentioned, their friends. Man, they need to learn playground politics.
That's right.
They need to be put in their place sometimes by their peers. They need all of those skill sets is what's going to set them up for life. Simple things like sharing and how to stick up for themselves and all that things is so valuable. And I've seen my daughter miss some of that in the early stages of schooling. So I guess for me, success looks like, I would say that retaining a joy for learning is success for me, because if you can go through life retaining a joy to learn, then you're going to always be evolving as a person, and I think too that for me success isn't defined by only the education system. Like if you've got a skill set that you can turn into making money, then I would 100% back my kids to do that, no matter what age they are. And I think that's success, believing in that, whatever that looks like. Yeah.
Just quickly on that, like thinking about your ideas of what success is, like what would you say to the Ministry of Education to be able to help you achieve that success and move towards it with young people? What would you say to them?
That's easy for me. I think that they need to just make it more Indigenous friendly. I think the way that as a people that we learn is different. Yeah. I think it's so much structure and bound. Like teachers, the teachers where my children go to school are amazing, but they're bound by a system that they have to conform to. And it can be really difficult sometimes if you have a kid who's super creative, maybe, and they're terrible at maths. But then does that make them unintelligent because they're not meeting the standard? I think even the way that we learn, like sitting in a classroom, and this is changing, I'm seeing all of this change over the years, but sitting in a classroom, everyone looking at one whiteboard, to me, I've learned much better in a circle. A conversation is conducted better like this in a circle than being spoken to all the time. Do you know what I mean? So just little things like that, I think it's empowering. It's empowering to our people. It's empowering to our culture. And other people who want to be a little bit more, I guess, aware of that stuff.
Slowly changing too. It's interesting just some of the things you said, like because I went to another school. I won't rant on too long, but where they really moved out of like they'd open plan classrooms, whānau based learning, like all of those sort of inquiry based learning. So just listening to you and maybe they're already floating around, maybe they're testing, fingers crossed.
And putting value on not just your science, maths and English.
Definitely.
Those things are valuable, 100%, but some people struggle with those. So, I look at my daughter, she can draw and create, but there's no standard for that. It's not a value there, but there is.
For sure.
So things like that.
What about you, bro? You got anything for the whānau?
I can add on that, it's small kids, they are not getting a chance to face the exam in the primary level. Like I can see when they move to intermediate or in the high school level, they are but struggling when they face the exam. So I would suggest if Ministry of Education can start those things from the primary level, it might help them to get that understanding of how can they face the exams. So that's my suggestion, I would say.
It's like hybrid multi-levels.
Yes,
yeah, like, doing.
Maybe
I
I came from India, so definitely our education system completely different. So, but we used to have that exam things from the primary level.
All the way up.
So we were not panicking on the last minute things. So definitely we trained from the beginning.
Yeah.
So then it's easy for us in the high school level as well. But in here what I saw that education system, it's all introducing from the intermediate to high school level.
Yep.
So if that can be amended, would be great.
Yeah. Oh, cool, man. I guess, man, Whaanau, we're pretty much there, man. I've really enjoyed like some of the insight that you've given, and I just got one more real question. Or was there anything else you want to throw in there?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Oh, that was really cool, just learning about what success would look like, and I'm sure a lot of whānau out there like will really resonate with a lot of the stuff you're saying and be like, yeah, that's right, so just thankful.
I reckon the only thing I would want to add is that the ministry should be real proud of the people that they've got on the ground, because the teachers did it tough over that time, and they were just absolutely incredible. Like, I just had such a newfound respect for teachers, and just how they really tried to awhi every whānau and meet them wherever their needs were at. And so I just think that the ministry should value that.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure, man. Like, a lot of that learning over the time, like the learning at home, the hybrid learning after that followed, like, that was like prototype stuff to some extent too.
Yeah.
We had to just react.
Yeah.
So to be able to like come through it all, have some packed learnings for our education system, definitely big ups to all of them. And like, just makes you think about like, our teachers. Because I had some comments where some people were like, "Oh, teachers didn't do too well" and stuff like that. But like, they're human too. They're trying to. They're trying to. They've got kids at home.
And they've got whānau.
Yeah,
that's
exactly right.
External pressures. Like
that's exactly right.
So did they nail it 100%? No, but there was so many learnings, and I think that they pivoted really quick with each lockdown, and they got sharper and responsive quicker, and so. Nah,
that's cool,
touché,
man. Yeah, hard. Man, I was going to ask. I'll just ask one last thing. I was going to end it there, but I guess to end off, do you have any advice for other families or whānau members out there that are, I guess, I wouldn't say struggling to define success for their young people, but maybe like to and froing potentially with a pathway for the young person, or maybe like they're fighting with the young person about, well, my kid wants to go there, I want them to go here. Like, do you have any advice for whānau that may be sort of in that sort of predicament where they're trying to define or work with their young people on the success? Like, do you have any advice for them to help them out?
Man, that's such a sticky one, eh?
Yeah.
Some parents are real adamant. Like, I've definitely had people, like friends of my kids, come to me and ask, can you talk to my parents? But I don't want to get in the middle of that.
Yeah.
For me personally, I can only reflect on my approach, and I'm a real, I will, I guess, follow the lead of my kids. So if I can see, okay, uni's definitely not going to be for you, darling, but then I'll encourage them into that way. And I think listening, you've got to listen to each other. It's their life that they've got to live. You can't force your dreams onto them. So that's probably, I'm probably do have a little bit of a relaxed style. I would probably take their lead and be like, if you want to get into that, then what's the pathway to that? If you want to be in politics, what does that look like? If you want to do, one of my boys is super into production, if you want to do that and visual effects, how do you pathway through that? So
cool. Kia ora. Working with them, mate.
That's the
Which
one. That's the short answer.
Oh, no,
a really long one.
No, but you need all of the context with it.
It's a team effort.
It's actually quite hard to do that, eh?
It is. I think for parents, they want the best. They really want the best, and sometimes it looks like them being like, you're all going here.
That's right. It's like,
it still comes from the same place.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Kia ora. What about you, bro?
They should understand their kids really well. They should know what good for them, like what the good skill level, what they are good at. So then definitely they can guide them in the right direction, rather than, like you said, forcing whatever the dreams you have got to them. So that's not the right way to do. So that's what my suggestions to them, to understand your kids and go with that flow.
Yeah, man. I definitely resonate with you both. Like, it's all about, like, for me, one, and it's probably going back to, like, some of the skills around, like, making sure they're the right person. Another thing next to that is just being, like, a person that has drive and resilience within all of that. But I think, like, being able to help them find, like, that one thing that they're truly, truly passionate about and interested in will give them and help them learn that extra drive so they can sort of push through the challenge, and all that sort of good stuff. So, I definitely agree with you both, man. Easy, man. Whaanau, man, that went by quickly.
Did.
Yep.
I need another cuppa.
Yeah, far out, man. But I just want to thank you both for your time today, and man, hopefully we can catch up again.
Joyce,
Sweet,
thank
man.
you.
Yep.
Kia ora.
Thank you
all
so
good,
much.
man. Thank you, Sue.
Thank
Ciao.
you.